to me.
Hypatia, you're way too excited about this. Actually, for you to leave the Avidia Forest means you're not in training anymore?
Even if she's not in training, you can't trust anybody. You can't trust anything. How do we know Hypatia isn't working for somebody else right now? That she's already been grabbed? I mean, she's been alone for so long. Someone could have just walked in there and been like, yep, you're mine now.
Your era is coming to an end.
Whatever, Scaradouche. Trying to give me your sad-ass story.
What was that?
That third part was nothing. Unless you give me more information, all I'm assuming is that poor kid died to sickness or was murdered, and you're like, it's all his fault because he died, so I rid the world of anything. Oh!
Paimon, you said Sanctuary of Surasthana. Does this mean that this Nahida you're talking about, the consciousness who is occupying the traveler's body, is the dead?
Your guess is correct, but the situation's a bit complicated, so it's really hard for us to explain right now.
Well, hello everybody and welcome back to Genshin Impact. I'm a little more annoyed now as I wanted to do that event that was in the game because I've done this in games before. If I have a hint at all that something bad is going to happen, or if it was spoiled for me and I don't mention out loud that it was spoiled for me, I try to put in as much as the normal stuff like happy things or good things. I try to put in as many things before a very sad moment happens in a game. I try to put as much stuff as I can before that happens. So the last thing I could have shoved in there was the event and maybe some commissions. But because of how the game is going now, I kind of had to skip the event, and well, people weren't on today for me to really do the commission. Not like anyone was going to join me. It's just that I would have had someone to talk to during it. And because, well, there's not much for me to really talk about in Genshin. Because if the event is just, go do this, that's really all I'm going to do.
All I know is that that project has something to do with the restoration of Irminsul.
I think I know what the project is about.
Huh? Did you see something when you were in Nahida's body?
The Academia is turning the Balladeer into a god.
What?
Do you have any evidence?
I saw a what? A nascent god under construction? Hypatia also showed us a so-called divine consciousness.
So that's what happened. That explains why Hypatia's symptoms were different from those of the other scholars who went mad. It's because she made contact with the consciousness of a new god who is still in the process of being born.
Tighnari, did you leave the Avidia Forest because of Hypatia?
I mean, I gotta tell you right now, going to kick Scaradouche's ass, ooh, that's gonna feel good. And now, cause that one sad moment has actually just passed, I'm now not exactly reserved on continuing the story of the game. It's just, you know, again, being kind of Genshin'd out, there was kind of another reason to not play the game. As when I do hit Adventure Rank 59, I'm gonna do the giant grind, which I still don't know if I should do halfway or not. I don't know. The only reason this has been kind of fast is because there's been stuff to do in Sumeru that helped raise my adventure rank a lot. So I don't know. I put a time down on my phone when I reach adventure rank 58. So I'm trying to find out how long it will take me to reach adventure rank 60. Because I'm trying to max out my adventure rank experience, you know? And when I reach adventure rank 60, being a free-to-play player, I will tell you when reaching, as a free-to-play player, when reaching adventure rank 60 will happen. I will tell you when that happens. And I will tell you right now, some people are either 2 weeks, 3 weeks, possibly even a month or two ahead of me because they did their fragile resin. They did their resin every day. So some people could be at least 1 month and a half, 2 months is reaching, but it could be the max of that. I'll tell you when we get to adventure rank 60. I'm getting ahead of myself right now.
I did. I noticed Hypatia's mental anomalies, but since her symptoms were rather atypical, I secretly took her to Party's DI and began searching for a way to return her to her normal self. If I didn't take action, Hypatia would have already been taken by the Matra to the desert, doomed to a life of exile at Aaru village.
I also know I have some pictures to delete during the cutscene now.
Now that you mention it, I knew the Academia has never thought particularly highly of Lesser Lord Kusanali, but I still didn't expect them to do something as arrogant as creating a new god. Looks like I made the right decision by not accepting their invitation.
The Fatui is also behind some of this. Also, what happened to the Catherine puppet? They said destroyed. Is there just going to be a new one put in there now? Like, even if there's an endless supply of Catherine puppets, I like Catherine enough for her to not have to suffer.
The Doctor and the Balladeer. We have 2 Fatui Harbingers in Sumeru. Sounds like we're in for a bad time. From your description, I don't think they've completed their project. There may still be room for us to intervene, but then, what is the connection between creating a new god and restoring Irminsul?
Yeah, it feels like we're still nowhere close to figuring out the sage's goals.
Let's head to the desert for now. We gotta stop them no matter what.
Right. We've pretty much gone over everything we need to know, so we should head out. How about you, Tighnari? What are you going to do?
I'll stay here for now. I still want to try a few more things to help Hypatia. If you're planning to go into the desert, start by heading for Caravan Rabat. That'll be your fastest route. Come find me here if there's anything else I can do to help. May the spirit of wisdom go with you.
Thanks, Tighnari. Hopefully Hypatia will feel better soon. We're off then.
Oh boy. Alright, so I think the event is gonna need me to probably complete the entirety of Sumeru's Archon quest, or get pretty close to the end of it. But let's see what's around here. So if I went to Sumeru and tried to see Catherine, she would be there, or what? I wonder if there's anything... I want to go to Sumeru first and try to speak to Catherine. There's nothing here, of course. It would have been funny if it wouldn't have been funny, but what if they just left a body there? Okay. Let's go to Sumeru first. Unless the game is like, you can never return. Oh shit, I just remembered. After the next update in the game, after 3.3, 3.4, there's gonna be more of the desert coming out. And I think it's 3.5 or 3.6. I'll be so happy when the desert is done with. I hate the desert. Alright, Catherine Robot was replaced, like, very easily.
Ad Astra Abyssos.
How are you feeling now, Catherine? How am I feeling? Was I unwell? I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that I can't quite remember what happened before. But since I'm here, I suppose it was no trouble in the end. So Catherine doesn't remember. Has the previous puppet been replaced? I mean, obviously, the trailers made me worry more than I needed to. But again, like I said, if anything seems sad like that can be, if anyone gets emotionally destroyed because they saw a Catherine robot get destroyed that can easily be replaced, then I tried to put as much into the game as I could before that happened. It actually, in my opinion, doing more things in the game before a sad moment happens kind of amplifies that moment just a tiny bit to me, you know? Like, help me out here. We do something with Fischl. Fischl is going to die. And we could go do things with Nice and Spicy, Dandelion Tights. You know, we could go do things with them. Save Fischl is probably mentioned in there once. Only once. Only once could have an effect on the whole thing of Fischl just dying. To me, it's still worth it to do as much things as possible. Or, we have so many happy memories with all of these characters, and then one of them just dies. And then everything's sad. When we just had a whole bunch of happy memories and did a whole bunch of stuff. So that's kind of why I try to do it like that. Or be like, I was just playing with somebody in a co-op event who was using the character who just died. Now we gotta go in the desert and my enjoyment's gonna go down again. Looking at the bland ass desert.
We finally made it to Caravan Rebot. It's pretty lively here. So, just past this wall is the desert, huh?
We've already been there, Paimon.
Oh, wow. Paimon remembers hearing people call this the Wall of Samiel. It's made to block sandstorms from the outside. Oh, if it's this tall, it's gotta be the divine work of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, right?
It is indeed quite impressive.
Enough gawking. Come on, follow me.
Huh?
Al-Haytham.
Over here.
Oh, Haytham went that way! Let's hurry up and follow him. Wonder what he's up to.
I hope you can't hear my PlayStation fan from here.
Where did she go? How did we lose them? They were just here a second ago.
More Aramite mercenaries? Who are they working for this time? Anyway, Traveler, it seems like we were being followed again.
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago.
Thanks, Al-Haytham. We couldn't have shaken them without you.
There's no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of personal favors. All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a habit I developed at the academia.
You really gave Paimon a scare, Al-Haytham. We never thought we'd run into you here. Last time we met at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the academia? Wait, don't tell Paimon that you're here to take us back on their orders.
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the academia's hit list. I can't say that I didn't expect it. However, had I wished to turn you over to the academia, don't you think you'd already be the Eremites' honored guests by now?
Oh, right. You do have a point.
Did you participate in the Sage's big project?
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promotes researcher autonomy. And these days, you're more fascinating than anything the sages can offer.
So, you were actually looking for me?
Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Unfortunately, I've run into some difficulties. Everyone says the capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos. If I am to get to the bottom of this, I must understand how the capsule first came to be. Which brings me back to you, and why you're so interesting. The leader of Ain al-Ahmar used the Divine Knowledge Capsule right in front of you. And upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed, and you were lost in thought for quite some time. To have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something. Are you interested at all in sharing what you've been hiding from me?
It must be because I was shocked to hear those words again. World, forget me.
Oh, Hatham, you really have a ridiculous eye for detail. What kind of person even notices or remembers stuff like that?
Look, the situation is a little complicated, and I can't share what I know just yet.
So that's your answer. Well, I do work for the Academia after all. So considering that, it is indeed wise to keep your cards close to your chest. But that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Am I right? No matter. Rather than simply learning the answers from you, I'd still prefer to investigate on my own. Speaking of, you two are also headed to the desert?
That's right. We have the same plan as you. But we don't really have any concrete goals at the moment.
Then I'd suggest starting with Aaru Village. It's the largest settlement in the desert, so it'll probably have more resources and intel than anywhere else. Well, would you like to head there together?
Sounds good.
It's always better to travel with someone you know. Let's go!
Not like I don't have the feeling you're gonna be easily used for something, buddy. As tough as you are, and as much as you like to think, there's no way anyone would possibly get the upper hand on me. Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's either gonna be you or somebody else. This is why I can't watch movies. I figure everything out in seconds. And if I did figure something out in here, well, at least the game made me think a little bit more.
Before us lies Aaru Village, the safe haven of the desert folk.
Man, I already know everything about this fucking area. And man, if I could put a enjoyment level on the side of my screen, on the side of the screen here, like a live enjoyment level, you would see that thing just dipping down so fast the moment I looked at the sand.
Whoa, this landscape is really something else. What a cool place. Let's go check it out.
Cool place? This is a desert. Ain't nothing cool around here. Only at night. There's a lot of cutscenes in Sumeru.
Wow.
Damn it. I wanted a picture of Omin's face. Do I have a Omin library? Alright, who just spit? Well, damn, bro, what you up to? Now I just have a picture.
Sino.
Sino? That's how you say his name?
Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the Academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how I invited the General Mahamacho's wrath?
Also, what is with the no shoes thing? Put some shoes on. Damn. And Sumeru has been, like, showing us the fight scenes. Like, Genshin's trying to show us that they can make us a good fight scene for us. Do I have anything else to say? I don't think I do. Though, I hate it when I try to take a picture, and the game is like, oh, here's a better one, but you can't take a picture because you'll have the photo taking notification in the way. And sometimes the picture takes too long, and then I take a picture of just, like, another character who isn't Lumine. I don't have a Lumine library. No. Just like I don't have a Hanabi library. No.
Oh, Hatham. Do not think you can escape my judgment just because you managed to escape my attack.
Alright, Morimiya.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your actions here, is it? Or would elimination perhaps be a more accurate description?
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me. Though styled like an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist. Standard practice for the Matra, as well you know.
Seemed to me more like your own personal touch.
Who is that, Alhaitham? Did you call him General Mahamatra?
Yes. General Mahamatra Sino, head of all the Matra at the Academia. He's a formidable hunter, and the ultimate nightmare for any who have committed academic crimes.
You seem to have placed a lot of trust in Alhaitham, to the point of blocking an attack for him. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I wouldn't believe a single word that comes out of his mouth. I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer. Otherwise, there will be consequences.
I don't trust him as much as you seem to think, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stand by and do nothing.
Has Alhaitham done something wrong? Paimon doesn't think he's as bad as you've made him out to be.
I won't waste my breath explaining things. Alhaitham, I saw it during our fight. Take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person. Unless you want me to retrieve it for myself.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes a Matra's senses.
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormos?
So you did lie to us.
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. What does this capsule mean to you? And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, are you all alone in the desert? As far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your disappearance. Have you been given a mission that's, let's say, morally dubious? If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources to judge me within the walls of the Academia?
Is the mission from the sages?
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two! Ugh! What should we do, Traveler? Paimon feels like we can't trust either of them!
Ahem. Well, look at you
Hey.
two, acting all tough and self-righteous over there.
Wait, Dia?
Someone we can trust.
Great! Finally, someone that we can trust! You gotta help us out here, otherwise these two are gonna start fighting again!
Yeah, sure looks that way. Two giants from the Academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get to see every day, that's for sure. Listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and virtues over each other. But how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aaru village? It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls until you finally learn to respect these grounds.
Neither of them can afford to be distracted by Diha. They're still looking for an opportunity to attack.
Hey, did either of you hear a word I just said?
Oh, you're angering the gods.
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so strong! Is this a sandstorm? Paimon's gonna get blown away!
Well, that wouldn't be too bad.
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey, it's Candace.
Hey! All of you, over here, quickly! We have to take cover.
Someone's calling for us! Oh, this wind is too strong! Let's get over there!
That sounded like Candace. Come on, you two. Jeez, are all of you Academia folks such hard work? Move it!
All right, stop yelling.
Man, really just had enough of it.
Wanna play sardines with 3 people who wanna tear each other limb from limb? Sure, why not? Sounds fun.
Why don't you just keep quiet?
The air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
Well, you're still floating.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm dies down. Please, let me introduce myself. I am Candace, protector of Aaru village.
Our savior has come at last! Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon. Thank you so much for helping us.
You have my gratitude.
There's no need to thank me. It's only right to help each other when the weather gets rough.
Wow, she's so gentle and caring, like a nice older sister. Unlike those guys over there.
I'm sure she gets fucking pissed when needed.
Alright, now that we're all better acquainted, we should return to the topic at hand. As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar, even before the sandstorm started. And now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that you pose no threat whatsoever to us. So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another, and put your hostile feelings to rest. If anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures of the sandstorm.
Oh, on second thought, Paimon may have misjudged Candace's character.
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia. Do I make myself clear?
All right, we got it, Candace.
That's what I like to hear. So, which of you will begin?
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now. Anyway, one of those two should probably start talking.
Wait, that was you trying to be a mediator?
I have nothing to hide, so there's no shame in explaining myself. While Alhaitham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, I've chosen to exile myself.
I gotta tell you that this guy's voice, like Alejandro, every time he voices somebody, you can always, let's let him talk. There's a certain sound to his voice.
Huh? Exile yourself?
A little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development files. What little they did report clearly did not match the project's actual progress.
It's when he was like saying development files in a little while ago, there's a certain sound to Alejandro's voice that's like, the way he speaks, you're gonna be able to easily figure out that's Alejandro. Because like, I never knew his name before, but when I heard him speak for Morimiya and Horimiya, a great little romance anime that I haven't finished watching, I only went to like episode 2, but I immediately knew it was him, and then I thought back, wait a minute, he kinda sounds like Oscar from Ruby, and I was like, oh, okay. And then, I don't know, I never actually heard Sinnoh's voice, but when I saw the name Alejandro, I sat there and I thought, for some reason, this is gonna match up. And it did.
As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. However, to my surprise, the person responsible for the erroneous data was none other than Grand Sage Azar himself. I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request, but I soon found that all leads and potential pieces of incriminating evidence were carefully concealed from me. I began to realize that they were cautious of me from the very beginning. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. He even said to me, "The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages. You have no right to judge us."
So they really are up to no good.
I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages to assert and maintain their control over knowledge. The vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold, they are meaningless to the academia of today.
So you then decided to exile yourself.
I believed it would be wise to flee the academia before the sages had a chance to take action against me. This way, they can no longer see nor predict my actions. I will never give up on this investigation. There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority. Once I find the truth, I will administer judgment by my own name.
Sino seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scary.
It's still too early to trust him completely. What if this whole story was just made up?
Well, Sino, if that's your story, then why did you see Alhaitham as a target?
When I was investigating the matter in the academia, I overheard a conversation between Alhaitham and a sage. The sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler. Do you dispute this, Alhaitham?
What?
Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with a divine knowledge capsule, and I think we deserve an explanation.